circles.
Well, bullying the lobby is what they're going to look to do again, led, of course, by the IGL Hackis and the new addition of Effect. Yuki, of course, impressed everybody who was watching on game day number 3, but as the groups jump back into the dropship and find their way down to their POIs, A versus B, of course, the group that's going up against each other today. The question for me is, who is going to challenge Alliance in this lobby? The zone was pretty central, slightly northern, of course, so a little bit of a rough one, maybe for those teams landing down on the southern side of Storm Point here, but as we wait with bated breath here, Dan, once again, we always love to see where that zone is going, and it's only just a few moments away from finding out for ourselves.
Yeah, because it kind of gives us an idea of who has a real chance of winning the game. The stats don't lie. Those who land on a POI and the circle pulls close-ish towards them have a better opportunity of winning the game. We know that. It's more miraculous when we see teams who are so far away from the zone actually able to pull off a victory. As you can see, Alliance didn't have to travel that far, but now they're going to have to go a little bit further as we head into the southwest region of the map, down towards Barometer and Cenote Cave. So those teams who are landing in those kind of areas, especially those with beacons, look down at Cenote Cave, you have a beacon down there. That is going to be prime position to get that info, rotate early, and set up accordingly.
And for Alliance, it's going to be a little bit more of a longer trip for them. This time, they're going to have to go from north to south, but with the way that Alliance have been playing, we know, I mean, historically, Dan, these guys have almost mastered playing Edge, and when you're working as well on Storm Point, moving from north to south, it's very different circumstance to if you're walking from the south to the northern tip of it, because of the fact that, of course, you just have that height differential, right? You have the ability to hold the high ground in those fights. You have such good vision over a lot of the action that's happening in front of you, and if you've got someone like Hackis who's just kind of using Seer, of course, to get information, he can pick fights so easily for his team, and when you've got the two backing him up who have been firing the guns so effectively, this could be another good zone for Alliance, even though it feels like this is a million miles away right now.
Yeah, and excuse me, earlier I said about Yuki on Crypto, but I meant, of course, playing Valkyrie, and just the way that they've been able to manage this game and the way they've been able to use the aggression of Horizon has made such a difference, I think, for Alliance. And looking across again at the legends that have been picked, the one catalyst that we had is no longer in the lobby. That has been taken out, so it doesn't look like we're going to see much catalyst action on our screens today. Still, one Rampart, one Bangalore, one Vantage in the lobby, so that's going to be something a little bit different, and then Newcastle as well. So we'll see whether those off-meta picks can really make a difference, but as for the actual compositions, we're seeing, Mark, a 95% pick rate of Valkyrie, a 75% pick rate of Seer, and a 55% of Watson. So that's kind of your average composition between those three.
Look how quickly Ascend are rotating again, already leaving their central zone around Jurassic Park where they like to drop, and looking to find a little bit of a position here. Already utilizing the Valkyrie ultimate as well. So Ascend, their game plan is very, very obvious. It is get to zone as quickly as possible, win the race to one of the spots that they think they can hold down, and then, of course, with the composition they have, the Watson and the Newcastle, they won't be moving for quite some time. So I think weaponry is also going to be interesting to see. Oh my goodness, it might have just caught someone off guard here. The Crypto has to Scarpa, has to run, but he's not going to be able to. Poor old Jules, taking his time, doing a little bit of looting. That's how quickly Ascend have just rotated, by the way. Someone is still looting.
Caught with his tail between his legs. Unfortunately, just realized he couldn't get away there as well. But yeah, that's what Ascend have got to try and do. In some of these zones where it's going to be pulling a little bit further away from you, you have to move fast. And now that's going to be frustration for Game of Drones here. And then a two-man situation. It's always a decision, Mark. Do you try and go for that final player? Do you try and pick them back up? Do you assume the other team continues on their rotation? Or do you just kind of bail and hope to play the rest of the game as a 3? It's, again, going to come down to your knowledge of the other teams, your knowledge to how people are tending to play, but it looks like Ascend are leaving that. They are going to continue their rotation, so there is still a chance that Game of Jones could come back to all 3.
Yeah, I wonder if Ascend kind of just saw that information using the Valkyrie passive. Of course, there was one player just so split, they were like, you know what, we might as well just pick up this KP, and 3 of us drop on him. There's no way that he can really do anything to get out of that situation. Bitfix Gaming, by the way, eliminated early on here. But I think it, from the fact that they have just left that fight, they haven't tried to pursue it, I think that you're seeing Ascend maybe just got a little bit of a free KP going their way now as they continue what was their original plan to get that building they want to hold. Speaking of moving through Jurassic Park, we've already seen Ascend do that, and now we're seeing Horizon a little bit behind them, as you can see.
Oh, but Gaming Gladiators, unfortunately, in a scrap. And I say unfortunately because it looks like there's another team also in the vicinity, and that means the Leogri is just going to have to run IG on the other side of things. And again, Gaming Gladiators going down pretty early. Yes, there is one player remaining, but the rotation has not gone according to plan. And Invictus Gaming, who came second in the previous game, disrupting everything on Gaming Gladiators' rotation.
I mean, Leogri's doing what he can here. You can see he's just picked up a knock onto a player from Heroes as well. So you're also hearing a respawn coming above him. That could be Game of Drones, maybe looking to do that. But IG are looking to finish this off at the moment. You can see trying to hunt out where these final players are. That's going to be one of the downs finished, and it's also going to be a little bit of damage being done to numerous teams in the vicinity. I just feel Gaming Gladiators taking that fight out in the open. Did they choose to take that? Was that a fight that was forced upon them by another team just being taking a very similar timing on their rotation? We'd have to, of course, watch it back, but it just seems like a very, you know, not very characteristic play coming in from Gaming Gladiators once again.
Yeah, I think that a lot of it comes down to other teams, and you often leave your fate into how another team plays. Are they going to be super aggressive out of nowhere? Are they going to change their rotation out of nowhere as well? Speaking of, Vex Gaming looking to get aggressive. 162 from Unlucky, and now Full sends it with the Eva 8, and that's going to be a wipe. 3 Muppets look like 3 Muppets when Vex are on the other side.
Yeah, that was a very, very clean fight from them. You can see that Tyler is down at the moment, and trust me, he's a man you want to get back on his feet. He is currently one of the players who has a game day where he put up 21 kills, joint first place overall with Luca, of course, from Ascend. So both those players, the heaviest slayers that we've seen in a day's action so far, and getting him back on his feet, so important, of course, for the success of Vex. 4 squads already eliminated here. We're seeing a very fast-paced game. We're also seeing the medkit, of course, taken down to the wire. As I gotta say, every time I see someone popping it, even though I know they've timed it perfectly, you just wonder, like, one bullet, whatever it might be, they don't, it just scares me, man. Just get the medkit off. It scares me.
Playing with fire, that's for sure. I mean, I've done it and got it wrong far too many times that I would like to admit. As we look at Vex and how they're now going to move in, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of teams are going to bank on Barometer here. Out of the, I think, 6% times we've seen the zone pull to the southwest of this map, it has ended on Barometer. So I think that is going to be a heavy bet for a lot of these sides in and around Barometer. It's just about where you go, all right? Because Barometer is a big place. It's not just going to finish in one circle. There are several different circles we've already seen this season. So we'll see whether people go for a more southern or northern approach. But looking at the map, it looks like southern Barometer is probably where people are going to end up.
We can see the IG are looking to finish things off, and I wonder if that is the last player alive from Gaming Gladiators, or if Leogri had already been taken down. But for now, Invictus looking to hold their ground once more. It's actually Horizon who are on the other side of this fight, looking to do a little bit of damage. I'm pretty sure that Vex were rotating through zone behind them, so they'll have to be extremely careful on how they play this situation. But for now, they've got the fences down, they're showing presence, and that is kind of like part A of what you want to do when you've got Watson in that composition. So Mimu, he's got a charge rifle as well, which certainly can do some damage. And I've got to say, Dan, I've become that guy in ranked. I picked this thing up because it is very easy to use, and it's a lot of damage for sure.
We use whatever tools necessary to give us the extra kills, all right? That's what's important. And exactly the same for these competitive players. This is for, you know, the biggest tournament in Apex Legends. You've got to make sure you are getting those points on the board so you can qualify for the biggest of tournaments when we get to playoffs and then championships. The area where IG were, by the way, is kind of southern Barometer, and the circle is pulling that way. So they're in a fantastic spot, as are Ascend and a Horizon. Those are going to be your 3 guards of the southern zone. But then the likes of KCP are going to be central zone on the northern side. If that circle goes between these two teams, there's going to be a lot of water in that final circle. Very difficult to navigate those circles, and I'm sure that teams will have a plan, but whether that plan will actually come to fruition, we'll have to see.
Phoenix Legacy, of course. G-Dolphin being one of the new additions to this team, making Rampart his own. And showing that off-meta picks, like you say, can still have an effect. And trust me, if Sheila is on the battlefield and a couple of teams run out into the open, then that is going to be free KP for days. But for now, it looks like they're just fighting their way into zone, just trying to hold down this position. There's a Seer ult that's gone down as well. And you have to wonder, is that an aggressive one? Is that a defensive one? Just to try and hold this position. Looks like they've got the information now. There's a team inside. They might be out of third party here as well, because there's EKO and KCP who are fighting. And here comes Sheila to have a little bit of a sing. It'll be Phoenix Legacy who eliminate EKO, but also, look at KCP. They're in the kill feed as well. They're still alive, though.
Yeah, KCP watching from a distance, watching from a more safe area, it would seem. But I believe there is going to be a few rats in the vicinity. So you've got to be very careful that you don't come across a rat just waiting in the corner. It might draw you in the back. Could really ruin your game. So you've got to be checking all those angles if you are rotating into these circles. Our late rotators, by the way, Alliance and E6. We knew Alliance was going to be one of the later rotators in this game because they've had to come so far. But they started in the kind of northeast area of the map as we saw them land. But now they are kind of on the west side of the map. So they've had a full rotation around the top side, Mark.
Yeah, they've got E6 behind them, though, who are going to be moving through zone. And as we know, the way that E6 like to play, you would expect them to be heavily looted. But the same can be said for Alliance. We saw them, you know, doing a little bit of work in the armory to make sure they got everything they needed to be strong in team fights. And speaking of Alliance, we see them on our screens right now. And now we see again, Dan, Climbing Gladiators eliminated. And at this point, I think we have to kind of say, next game, it's almost a now or never situation for them. But Alliance, the winners of our game one, they're making their rotation. Like you said, moving from the northeast to the western side of this circle is very interesting. Let's see what the play call is from Hackis as we jump in to a listening.
A little bit, like if they fly towards
flying on you, Hackis. Oh no, they're going around. West side.
It's good. If they run into this, maybe this.
Yeah, they went this side.
We should maneuver that area.
There's a full free. They might go tunnel and fight them.
Okay, that's good. If they fight tunnel, we just rip it out.
Yeah. Perfect. Only watch your northeast. Really careful on that walk up.
Clueless bogey out there.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Really careful on that. That's your only threat.
They're backcutting, I think. I'm not sure. Well, we should be able to walk up again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Bennett.
These guys went around C node, so. Yeah, they went. One is outside right now. We could beam him in the back, maybe. He doesn't see me.
Yo, he's not looking.
3, 2. Wait, so he went back inside. He went back. There's another guy here, though.
Definitely two at least.
They're crypto, I think. Yeah, they're crypto. Shooting back.
Oh, crypto, shoot crypto. Crypto's AFK. 150 on crypto. A crypto guy as well.
We can shot in the back, though.
Crypto was AFK, bro.
Fucking ceiling, too.
Enemy in view there.
Let's go bridge with me.
Okay.
The big castle, these guys don't fucking. They're fucking.
We jump back into the game. Alliance make their play. They weren't able to get the kill that they wanted to, but Vex now in a scrap, in a battle, and it's fisticuffs outside of the hotel room bar at the moment. And Sanya from Na'Vi boots the door down, but he's going to be met by the Valkyrie, who manages to escape.
Really impressive from Sanya at the moment. Going to bait the res. Try and secure a little bit of KP. But it's a 1 versus 1. Such nervy times because you know you can potentially get extra teammates up. This could be the difference between securing, what, 5 points or maybe even 15, if not more, depending on how far you can get. Kara and the G7 Scout to work with for Sanya. Plenty of utility as well. You've got all the bats and shields that you could ever ask for, but you've got to hit those shots, Mark.
You've also got a knockdown shield to work with, and Sanya, who was on top of that fight for HP, is now on the other side of it, but Unlucky took a little bit of damage as well. Now he's going to actually try and stick this res by the looks of things, and that could be massive, but here comes the push. He has to change that decision almost immediately, but he did not reload his gun, and Na'Vi will be eliminated. Unlucky wins the clutch 1v1.
Unfortunately, no teammates to pick back up, but the adrenaline rushing through him, and I'm sure that Unlucky will be delighted with that one. And Vex stay alive as we now have 13 squads remaining, and also Unlucky the kill leader in this lobby. So plenty of KP to work for Vex. They are going to have to move a little bit, and it looks like Ember are closing in on Vex location, but elsewhere, Pioneers also just kind of surveying the land at the moment as they sit quite pretty in the current circle, but they will have to move a little bit for the next one.
Good shots coming in here from Nasky as well with that 301. The old trusty 301, one of the most consistent guns at any range in Apex Legends. Vex Gaming are eliminated, so even though you saw Unlucky win that big 1v1, it wasn't enough for him to rat his way down to some more placements. But here comes G-Dolphin. He's coming in. Sheila, she loves a song, Dan. Let's see what the verse is going to sound like.
Start singing, maybe. But unfortunately, just having to back off ever so slightly. Phoenix Legacy just in the circle, as you can see. There are a couple of teams around them that are going to make this very tricky, so it could end up they have to retreat, but if you can get the initial damage here, if you can do enough damage, it might just be the right time to push and get aggressive. But now we're going to see Sheila get whipped out by G-Dolphin, and the only Sheila in the lobby could be very damaging to the other teams that are on the receiving end.
There certainly could be. The only issue is the angles that you have available to take. And Pioneers are the team who are holding out right now. Pioneers, you know the intensity is going to be there. What better time to jump into a listening with Pioneers?
Knocked. And you knocked one.
No, I knocked from a different team.
Oh, okay. Behind the wall, he got knocked.
It's just a go.
Yeah.
Rampart.
I'm trying to break their shield.
Cracked it behind the wall, cracked behind the wall. You gotta heal.
What? Horizon's knocked. Last guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to
Last
play
guy, I have a lot
aggressive,
of
okay?
bullets. I'm getting shot in my back now. I can't really hold for you very well.
And this team is like wide picking you.
Yeah. I gotta come inside.
I hit the kill. No, I can't hold you.
Yeah, I can't hold you either. That's people
I'm backing.
They died.
They died.
Yeah.
I'm one. They're gonna cancel my heal.
Okay. From where?
I'm phoenixing. It's not good. Yes, north.
I'm looking. I'm holding on the door.
I'm healing.
I think we're fine. They're pushing.
Yeah, we have to fight
They're
them.
pushing.
Yeah. I also
have your ult?
top.
I'm selling up.
I'm staying bottom.
100 to top.
Coming
Crack
top.
one.
Place stairs, Natsuki.
Yeah.
I'll get behind bar.
I'm healing.
We'll jump back into the game as we see Pioneers manage to hold out Phoenix Legacy, but now they're holding out Element 6 as well. KCP are dominating this building.
Yeah, KCP owning everything that arrives at their very much door, but it's about where you go from here, because in 30 seconds, Mark, you are going to have to move if you're the Pioneers. So all this commotion is just delaying their rotation. Maybe they're thinking about KP, though. As Strafey goes down, it's Alliance who now join the party. And Alliance, as they did at the right time in the last game, they find the right time to push this game. They take control, they get the KP, and now they will be the team moving from west into this next zone.
But while all that commotion was going down, E6, they managed to get that res, but only for a moment. K-Swinny has to back up, even though he got the player back to his feet. Life in... He got immediately knocked, having found his feet back on the floor, but 10 squads remaining now. Swinny's so close to beating that parry, but has to cancel it, and now he has the zone closing behind him. E6 eliminated. Alliance once again looking strong as now they take to the skies, and somehow they bought enough time to get the Valkyrie ult into the sky as well.
Well, there's only two teams in this circle, IG and Ascend. Two teams who came second and third to Alliance just earlier. So now Alliance need to find a room to play. They need to find anything they can hide behind. And whilst they may look good right now, they are very vulnerable from that northern side that you can see on their screen. So that's why they're watching these angles. They're putting their back to the crates. They're not really too worried about the likes of Ascend and IG right now. Instead, they're looking at just closing out kills on those who are trying to cross the water. I said it can finish in the water and how difficult these circles can be, and you can see that on your screen right now.
Oh my goodness, Yuki is whatever the opposite of a lifeguard is, that is what Yuki is doing right now. He is not going to help anyone. He is not David Hasselhoff. He is just shredding people as they try and cross forward, go down as well. Heroes have been eliminated in these final moments, but Ascend still alive in this position we've seen him in for such a long time, Dan.
Yeah, so Alliance and IG holding out Horizon, Ascend holding out that last remaining team on the northern side as well, but we're down to just 6 squads, and Alliance looks like they're going to have to fight with their backs to the wall. Effect goes down. Yuki, last remaining player, will do what he can, but unfortunately Alliance go out in 6th, but a fantastic effort considering how far they had to come across the map. But it was IG who were already set up in this circle, and IG who have the best position in the game right now.
Yeah, Invictus looking really good, but Graceful's got to be so careful here. The 30-30 absolutely decimated those shields and the health, and luckily got the gen down just in time. Almost caught in the animation there, which caused the problems for Graceful, but it looks like he survived for now. Now some shots coming in to try and hold off this push coming in from Ascend, and you know it's Ascend because you see that wall going down, but it's not going to be wide enough to keep Lufka on his feet.
A 2 versus 3. Ascend looking to get aggressive so that they could have taken that priority position we speak of. The res, of course, could come through from the Newcastle as well, and maybe IG recognizing that, but Corpa get eliminated. Kashira goes down, and IG have done what they needed to. They have pushed Ascend back, and now Ascend are going to run away with their tails between their legs.
Yeah, it looks like Ascend have lost a couple of players, as you say, which is going to make their run towards this endgame much more difficult. Post-kill, the only player alive, and look at him. He's got Ember behind him. IG have got to look at this as well because they might have a free KP. That's the end of Ascend. Ember do move in, and it will be Young Hong Kong who does get that final kill. So Ember into the top 3, but IG is the story of this game, Dan. Like you say, early positioning, it's been so good from them, but we mentioned how influential the Kraber can be, and if you look at Bavis right now, that man's got a Kraber in his hands.
Also, the other issue you've got to look at is IG are the meat in the sandwich right now. They're between the two teams, and if Ember and Horizon push at the same time, it could be difficult. Ember are doing the damage. Noises goes down. This could be catastrophic for IG.
Oh, and they're just shredding them at the moment. They can't get them back. They're trying to cancel their heals. Young Hong Kong's going to get away himself, but surely that's just going to be the opening for a third party to come in. Invictus have been eliminated, but it looks like they're going to be able to get a little reset here. So as you say, Horizon is a 2. It's a 3v2. They didn't take the advantage in that situation. Maybe they needed to win that game.
Oh, 0-0 will send it on to Ember, but unfortunately gets absolutely destroyed by the 3, and now it's a 1 versus 3 in what would seem is impossible here right now.
Surely this is going to be the end of the game here. It will be Ember who made that late move into the zone to pick up the first place finish. They will be your champions. But I think the points will be very interesting to look at the end of this game, Dan, because there was a couple of teams who seemed very heavy in those KP.
Oh, KCP got a lot of kills. Ascend got kills. IG also got kills despite finishing